Welcome to In Cosmetics Asia's Speaker Saturday series, where we get to meet the experts speaking in the Marketing Trends Theatre this November. I'm really pleased today to welcome Sumit Chopra, who is Director of Research Analysis at GlobalData. Thank you for joining us, Sumit.
Thanks, Lottie. Thanks for having me here. That's good.
Perfect. So just to give us a bit of background, could you let us know what GlobalData do?
So GlobalData is one of the leading market intelligence firm based out of the UK. So we have a headquarters in London. We are listed on LSE, a £1 billion plus market company. And GlobalData really, work across various industry sectors, providing key market data and insights to Fortune 500 companies and beyond. And we not only cover consumer sector when we look at food and beverage and cosmetics and toiletries, but we have a strong presence in whether it is pharma, financial services, banking, technology, telecom, and so on. And through series of data and insights, we are able to help our clients massively in terms of unique product solutions and unique expertise in terms of their problems.
So you obviously cover a lot of broad sectors. Could you give us a bit more insight into your role at the company?
Right. So I work as a director of research analysis at GlobalData. As part of my role, I do track the FMCG sector, the food and beverage, covering the cosmetics, toiletries. And in addition to that, I also head China office. So looking at the Greater China region, which is China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. And my key roles are two bits, basically: understanding what's happening from a data, insights, and innovation point of view. And the second part is working very closely with our clients and obviously our sales teams, driving the GlobalData business as well as addressing client needs.
Great. And what's your kind of interest in the beauty and personal care category?
So in general, I track the entire landscape of the FMCG industry, whether it is food, whether it is beverage, whether it's cosmetics and toiletries, because GlobalData has very, very unique expertise understanding consumer behavior and patterns, right? So when we look at consumer behavior, we not only look at from the lens of cosmetics and toiletries, we also look at from the lens of food and beverage. What's the overlaying themes across these 3-4 sectors? So my interest is just across the board. Having said that, I think if you really look at in case of cosmetics and toiletries, it's a sector, barring the COVID period over the last 6-7 months, was a sector which was really driving the innovation. So when you look at the whole aspect of hero ingredients, when you look at aspects of clean beauty, even clean eating is kind of a trend which is followed through clean beauty in general. So what you eat, what you wear, and so on. So it's a very innovative sector in general that creates a lot of excitement. A lot of innovation is happening. If you look at the whole professional sector, that's expanding quite massively. So that creates a buzz. It's a sector which has a lot of disruption vis-a-vis compared to the food sector. So you have many small startups, if you really look at it, whether it is in China, whether it is in the Europe, whether it is even in the other parts of Asia, you have very small companies which are coming up and literally disrupting the markets, right? Whether it is through ingredient, whether it's through formulation. So that, creates an excitement for us to track, and personally for me also to track this sector.
Fantastic. And obviously you look a lot at trends and statistics and things. What kind of impacts, probably the biggest trend we have right now, which is obviously the coronavirus pandemic that we're living in, what sort of impact do you think that's had on the beauty and personal care industry?
So I would say, if you really look at COVID, obviously has a massive impact, and it has an impact across sectors. So I would say cosmetics and toiletries is not the only sector which has got impacted, but in generally the impact has come from other sectors like food and beverage. It has come from other sectors like automotive and so on. And I think largely, if you look at in FMCG in general, the impact on cosmetics and toiletries is the biggest. I would say the negative impact. So if you really look at food in general, the impact is a lot lesser. It's not that people have started eating less, right? Maybe they have changed their buying patterns. Maybe they have changed the brands they're potentially buying, but they've not cut down the consumption patterns to a very large extent. Obviously, that doesn't happen within 6 months. But I think with the cosmetics and toiletries, if you really look at markets like makeup, fragrances, the demands of that has gone down. Because of the social distancing norms, you're really not meeting a lot more. So the need has gone down, your usage has gone down. If you look at especially in the professional services sector, especially in the hair care side of it, the salons and all, the consumption has gone down massively because people are not going to these beauty parlors and the salons in general a lot more. So I would say the impact on the cosmetics and toiletries is far bigger than probably food and beverage if you compare. And we expect this to continue potentially for the next 6 months or even 8 months. I don't expect this to be a long-lasting impact. I expect things to go back, but yes, as I said earlier, what does it mean from a consumer behavior point of view? People have started using product solutions at home. Will they go outside back again to a parlor for a haircut or for a hair treatment? That's something time will tell. The whole consumption behavior might completely change.
So what would your prediction for 2021 be then? Would that be something coronavirus related, or do you think that there's kind of something else?
Yeah, I think it will. I would say making predictions will be very difficult because, as I said earlier, markets are in turmoil, markets are under pressure, sectors are under pressure. So consumer sentiment needs to pick up, consumption needs to pick up. That's the only driver of the growth. But I think if you look at, there could be some very interesting positives coming out of it. In all these negatives, there could be some interesting concepts which will come out. So because of this self-isolation, which we have gone through as a consumer while working from home, while operating from home, our consumer behavior, our behavior of consuming products might completely change. Now that might force companies to innovate. What do you want to do? What type of products do you want at home? So, even if you're getting impacted from let's say a saloon side of the market, or let's say a fragrance side of the market, companies might, come up with product solutions which can be used at home quite easily. So that could be one driving factor.
And obviously, we're really lucky enough to have Sumit host 2 sessions in Cosmetics Asia this November, one of which will be looking at edible beauty. So can you give us a bit of an overview of this topic?
Right. So if you really look at it, the point I was making was edible beauty is kind of, an extension to the whole clean beauty, clean eating market environment, or the movement we talk about, right? As a consumer, we were talking about, okay, I want to eat clean, I want to consume clean, I want to apply clean, which is the whole clean beauty. And I think the edible beauty is a subset of that. What it really means is the type of ingredients which our company are able to use, they are more related to the products which we're consuming on a daily basis. So it could be tea, coffee infused products, which companies will start making. It could be ingredient-based product like cannabis as an example. It could be some of the hero ingredients we talk about, so the products and the ingredients which we could relate to. So edible beauty is another theme within the clean beauty, which we believe will gain a lot more prominence within the whole cosmetics and toiletry space I would say probably over the next 4 or 5 years now. It won't be like 6-12 months. It'll go to a long thing from here on.
Mm. And in regards to this topic, do you have any interesting statistics for our listeners at all?
Right. So what, as part of GlobalData, one of the interesting things we've been doing over the last 6 months, that what we've done is we've chosen a basket of countries which have been going through, which have gone through a COVID scenario. Obviously, a lot of countries have gone through, but what we did was we selected 11 countries. And the reason of selecting these 11 countries were what phases they are in. So for example, a market like Korea was coming out, China was slightly almost there coming out of COVID. Then there were countries like India, probably Australia, which was still grappling with this issue. Similarly, US and UK. So we picked up a basket of 11 countries. And what we've been doing is we've been monitoring the consumer trends in relation to COVID for the last almost 4 to 5 months on a weekly basis, literally doing a weekly consumer survey. And what we've been tracking is that, the sentiments of people buying healthy products in general, anything which is associated to health, personal hygiene, sanitization has picked up quite massively. These were the important trends in the past surveys as well in the past consumer sentiment tracking. But over the last 6 months, personal hygiene, sanitization, brand communication, they have become a lot more important.
And one final question. What's your highlight of the show and what are you most looking forward to this year?
I would say, honestly, the big area I would be interested to understand is on the whole innovation zone. I think what COVID has done is COVID has just literally, shackled the entire universe in terms of, how they're going to react to this whole situation. No one was prepared for it, right? You can be prepared for a financial crisis sometimes, or you can actually prepare some models and all, okay, how the financial crisis will go out, how the fundings will happen. But in case of COVID, people have struggled to understand, okay, how big is the impact? So I think the key here is now in the last 6 months, companies have got enough evidence what it means, what it could do as a problem. I think I will be interested to see, okay, what are the innovations companies are looking at it, right? Over the next 6 to 12 months, what are the areas companies going to be investing more on? Is it about hygiene? How they're trying to tackle that? I think the previous norms won't exist. So hygiene will take a different word, different terminology. Wellness will be defined very, very differently over the next 6 to 12 months. So again, what innovations companies are coming up with in the next, I don't know, 6 to 12 months or 18 months, that'll be the biggest interest area, how companies are reacting.
Brilliant. Well, there's only one place to find out.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks, Sumit.